CLNS Media Patriots Roundtable. I am one of your co-hosts, Nick Quaglia, here with Marv Ezhan this week. No Mike Molyneux, but, he'll be back next week after a Saints game, which hopefully is going to be a bit more interesting than the Patriots and the Jets. It was a nice win, but, it's the Jets, and we're going to talk about that as we get into it. But the score of this game, 25-6. I think the main story that you can take out of this game, Marv, is Zach Wilson looks more like a guy who belongs playing a high school quarterback in a movie on Disney Channel rather than an NFL quarterback. And I'm not here saying this guy's a bust. I think it's way too early to say this guy's a bust, but he looked bad.
Yo, like, how sick are you if you're a Jets fan? So the Jets sucked last year and the Patriots sucked last year, but the Jets actively tanked. You get the number 2 pick.
They tanked to get this guy.
Yeah, you guys actively tanked. First of all, you screwed everything up because you weren't even supposed to win a game. You were supposed to tank for Trevor. Y'all messed that up, and you got the number 2 pick. All right, cool. You get Zach Wilson. Patriots just, sit and wait. Sit and wait to see who's going to come to them. And they get Mac Jones 13 picks later. And by all accounts, Mac Jones looks like the better quarterback at the moment. Yes, Zach Wilson, you can tell that, this guy's a gunslinger, and hopefully with the proper coaching, he's going to be something. But as of right now with this and analyzing them on week 2, Jets fans it's gotta be a sour taste in your mouth that, damn, the 15th overall pick is outplaying our number 2 pick.
Right. And I want to try to pull it up because you just mentioned, Jets fans probably freaking out right now. But I saw a tweet. I want to say it was from KFC Barstool. He's a huge Jets fan. And it was something along the lines of like, it's happening again. Or like, this is happening again. I want to find that tweet. It's probably buried at this point. But I mean, if it was something along those lines, like you said, if you're a Jets fan, you have to be sick. You have to be absolutely devastated after that type of performance. And, it's the Patriots defense, which a lot of people expect to be very good this year, very much improved front 7. And then you're going to get Stephon Gilmore later on. But again, right there, like this is a defense without Stephon Gilmore, and you're just tossing interceptions up. That one, I want to say it was at the start of the third quarter where he just launched this ball downfield.
The one to
and
McCourty.
It looked like it was,
The one to McCourty?
Directly in his chest. It looked like McCourty was the receiver.
Yeah, it looked like it was a miscommunication with him and Corey Davis. And it's just an inexplicable play. You can't do that in the NFL.
It's so bad.
I don't know what that was.
It was so bad. You want to talk about people who probably feel sick? It's Corey Davis fantasy owners. All you heard, you see these people on YouTube, on TikTok, all these fantasy gurus, they're all like, hey, man, listen, Corey Davis looked pretty damn good with the Titans. Now he's probably going to be the top dog up in New York with Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson's going to love him.
He had a good week 1.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2 touchdowns.
Yeah, after this week, though, after week 2, I would not be too confident. But we were talking fantasy before. Nothing is going right in fantasy so far this year. Nothing. All these, my entire bench this week probably outscored my main team.
Yeah, I looked at my draft board, and my last 4 picks of skilled players are no longer on my team. If we have another time to do a fantasy show, I'll read off the names I picked, and they're just no longer on my team.
We're going to have to do a fantasy show at some point. Me and you, hey, and actually speaking, we got to tell Mike about this when he gets back next week. One name, this is the last time we're going to say this name on this show, is Tyler Higbee. That guy.
Yeah, I'm not trying to cuss on this show, so we're gonna keep it moving. Back to the Patriots and the Jets.
What are we doing, dude?
There was also no tight end action in that game as well. I really do want to talk about that, though.
So, yeah, get into that because in the offseason, When you go out and you make that splash, you get Jonnu Smith. Everybody's like, all right, Hunter Henry off the board. Hunter Henry all of a sudden ends up on the Patriots too. You're like, okay, 2 tight ends set. Let's go. And it really hasn't been what we anticipated so far through 2 weeks.
No, it hasn't, and it's getting disappointing. I know it's week 2, but I don't know if it's just Mac Jones who's being very conservative, or if that's just how, the Patriots offense wants to run this year with a rookie quarterback and not really, unleashing the kid. But is the 25-6, that was the score? 25-6?
25-6.
It should have been 42-6, honestly. It should have been 42-6.
In the start of the game, I wasn't crazy confident with what was going on.
No, it wasn't. You look at the score, and yeah, Patriots defense dominated against Zach Wilson, but other than that, there wasn't really much to be excited for offensively when you watch this game. And I describe it as this, Nick. My mom doesn't watch much football, but she came home. She asked me, "How was the game? How did the rookie do?" I was like, yeah, he was good. I mean, we won, and that's.
You want me to read his line for you?
Yeah, please.
Stat line for Mac Jones yesterday. That is Juwan Bentley. That is the wrong name. 22 for 30, 186 yards. Not exciting. Honestly, hey, I don't want to say it, but kind of Cam Newton-esque.
Very.
That line right there.
Very. And when this team, when they built this team, one thing I said is they built this team for Cam Newton, right? It seemed like they built 2 tight end sets, heavy running back. They built it for Cam Newton. But obviously, Mac Jones had other plans. Excuse me, won the job. Now let's explore all these receivers. Kendrick Bourne is someone I'm very excited for. Crazy talented. Getting utilized as a gadget receiver, kind of. Nelson Aguilar, he had that touchdown week 1, but we're not seeing much of him. The 2 tight ends that you paid a lot of money to are not being highlighted. I like the 30 pass attempts from Mac Jones. That's perfect. 184 yards, that's a no-go. We need to start throwing the ball down the field. The way the Patriots have played offensively is not going to work against great teams. If you had played better offensively week 1, yes, I know the fumble hurts, but the Miami Dolphins game shouldn't have been that close to begin with. They should have been up more against Miami Dolphins, so when there is fumbles, it doesn't affect you as much. I just feel like the Patriots are being super conservative. When have we seen trick plays from Josh McDaniels and it got checked down? Especially when you have all the time in the world.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's not like they're doing this. They're not trying to put these plays out for us, but it's a boring brand of football right now. It's not that fun to watch. 186 yards from your rookie quarterback. We saw in preseason, and it made us excited. We saw in the preseason, Mac Jones has the ability to air it out. And not only does he have the ability, he's accurate as hell when he does it. I mean, it wasn't necessarily he didn't necessarily air it out in this pass, but he made another dime pass this week to Jacoby Myers down the sideline. It was a perfect pass directly into the basket, but I want to see him do it more down the field. And you brought up Nelson Aguilar, and that's another name. We just brought up the tight ends. We want to see the tight ends be used more, right? But what about Nelson Aguilar? You signed this guy to a big contract. A lot of people, when you saw this contract, you were like, Nelson Aguilar? The guy who was the butt of a joke to a viral video by an Eagles fan a few years ago? This guy? You're paying him this much money? Let's see it. Let's utilize it. We saw him last year with the Las Vegas Raiders and Derek Carr, who Derek Carr, by the way, having a pretty big year so far. Nelson Aguilar can get downfield. Just send him. Let Mac drop it to him. I want to see that kind of football. You know, I love seeing James White, especially because he's on my fantasy football team. I love seeing James White being utilized like James White again. I do. But I want to see more explosiveness from this offense. It would be more fun to watch for us. And B, I think Matt can do it. And they're clearly, I think this all just comes down to the Patriots wanting to slowly integrate Mac into the NFL. Because, you know, he didn't get this year to sit behind a quarterback. He's in it immediately.
But look, you're facing the Jets. if there was any team to explore what you can do offensively by throwing the ball down the field, it's the New York Jets. The one thing the Jets are sound in is their front seven. They have a solid front seven. So you'd think, okay, the running game, we might, ease back on that this week and really see what we can do with Aguilar. Let's see how we can get Jonnu Smith involved. Let's see what Hunter Henry can do in the red zone. We didn't get any of that against the Jets, where that's going to be probably your best time to do that, to see what you have in Mac Jones. Throw the ball downfield. Let's see what you can do. If you make a mistake against the Jets, I'm super confident that a Zach Wilson that's throwing 4 interceptions, you're going to be okay. But I need to see the ball go down the field. It was getting stalled way too many times in this team. And the only reason you scored 25 was due to all of the turnovers on the other side. Come on, man. It was just frustrating to see that, because you're going to be facing better secondaries moving forward.
Right. And, another concern that you can't have, especially after this game, was Brent Brown, man, hurry back. Because that right side of that offensive line, they're not blocking me.
Almost forgot.
They're not blocking you. We're getting right through that right side of that offensive line, no matter who they put out there.
Damn.
It was bad.
That was, what was it, Durant and Haran?
Yeah.
My goodness.
Who started the game? Was it Durant?
It was Durant who started the game, who ended the game week 1. He started the game week 2. And it was abysmal.
He's Durant comes out, doesn't look great. Doesn't look too good at what he does. No. You bring in Haran, you switch him out. I think Haran got hurt immediately, like a play or two in. Like, oh shit, you got to go back to Durant now. Like I forget the length of Trent Brown's injury, but you need this guy to get back soon.
Who was the left tackle that we couldn't stand when Isaiah Wynn got hurt? You remember who I'm talking about? It might have been last year, 2 years ago.
It wasn't. Oh my God, what's his name? Yeah, he was. We
spoke about him every episode.
Let me look it up. 2019. Because as soon as I see the name, I'm gonna know who it is.
I'm sorry to take us off track for a second, but it's giving me that type of vibes right now when we're talking about Durant and Haran, because everyone else, the offensive line as a whole hasn't been great, and I think that as weeks go on, they're gonna gel together better. But that right side is really bad right now, and it's affecting Mac Jones to the point I don't know if this time he is hesitant in what he's doing. He had a horrible grounding before the end of the first half. It was just like, football players just don't do that. Just run the ball.
Well, that was to me, and I have that down in my notes here. That to me was a rookie mistake. Like that was like the first sign that we've seen over these 2 games where I'm like, okay, this is a rookie.
Definitely a rookie mistake.
Was it like Adrian Waddle?
No, it wasn't Waddle. You say the name, I'm going to get it. It wasn't Waddle.
Well, because I just looked through the 2019 depth chart and I didn't see anybody that brought that rage back. Who was it? I don't know.
But you know who I'm talking about.
I do. Yeah, there was somebody that we couldn't stand. I don't remember who it was. It might have been Waddle, to be honest. So I'm not sure. But yeah, so bringing up the offensive line again, though, like you need that to be fixed soon. But you know who didn't really seem to care about the offensive line? Damian Harris. Yeah. And on that touchdown run, that was very Marshawn Lynch-esque. He looks good. The Patriots have a legit RB1, and that's going to be very exciting to have, especially with a rookie quarterback going on into the season. Having him playing the way that he has, as long as he holds on to the football, that's a damn good weapon to have if you're the Patriots offense.
And how many carries did he have, Nick?
Let me pull back the stats. Damian Harris, 16 carries, 62 yards, 1 touchdown.
See,
not like not super exciting, but that touchdown he had was super exciting.
But what did I say last week? I didn't want him having those 25 plus carries. 16 carries is good. I thought he got worn out week 1. And towards the end, his runs weren't as explosive. You bring him
That could
in.
be why he dropped it.
So 16 to 20 rushes a game for Damian Harris is perfect in my opinion. I was sad not to see Stevenson in this game in the doghouse. I hope he comes back. You saw a little bit of JJ Taylor. Anytime JJ Taylor touches the ball, it's plus yardage.
All right, who would you rather have, Stevenson or JJ Taylor? Because I'm a JJ Taylor guy, and he looks explosive, and he looked good yesterday.
I like JJ Taylor, and I want to see him more. But I would rather see Stevenson due to the fact that
you can't carry all of them because Brandon Bolden also takes up a spot.
Don't talk to me about no Brandon Bolden.
Hey, special team elite.
Yeah, sure. Stay there. Stay there.
Matt Slater, Bethel, Brandon Bolden.
The thing with Stevenson that I like with him, one, he can also catch out the backfield, but Patriots are really bad in the red zone. It's been like this for the past couple years now. Even Brady's last year with the Patriots have not been successful in the red zone. And
you saw it again yesterday.
Really, really concerning now. It's been years, not just been all this year. It's been years now. The Patriots have not been able to convert in the red zone. Now, I think Stevenson, being the big back that he is, can help with that. And that's why I would say Stevenson over JJ Taylor. I'd rather see him more. But JJ Taylor, change of pace, running back, dynamic. But when you have James White as solid as he is at the moment, I'd stick with Harris, White, Stevenson.
The reason I like JJ Taylor, and honestly, this is one of those conversations where you could really go with either of them, and I would be happy. But JJ Taylor, when he has the football in his hands, he is explosive and he hits. Whoever's in front of him, he will hit, and there's a good chance that you're falling forward with him. So, again, you could really go with either of them. But highlighting yesterday's game too, going back to that, I just want to know, did that game give you more confidence in the Patriots overall, or are you with me thinking it's the Jets, so really it doesn't matter?
One thing that the Jets have proven and shown us over the years is it doesn't matter. It just doesn't. It really doesn't matter how well you play against the Jets, and that's the case in NFL in general. When you face a really bad team, it's not going to carry over to the next week. Like
even if you face a good team, look what the Saints just did.
You know what I'm saying? So everything is circumstantial. This win didn't. All this win did was piss me off that they lost against the Miami Dolphins week 1.
Especially after seeing what the Bills did to them.
That's all that this win did was just piss me off more, because the Patriots should have put themselves in a position where they are 2-0 facing the New Orleans Saints. And right now they're 1-1. And especially when the Bills dropped one, the Dolphins don't look too good now that Tua's hurt. They were in a perfect position and they let that slip. So that's all that did for me. The defense looked solid. That front line though, the defensive line, the running backs were able to do whatever they wanted the past 2 weeks. You got Michael Carter.
It's like the tight end situation. After all the hype, I want to see more.
Yeah, Michael Carter was able to run against them. Tevin Coleman looked good against them. We saw Myles Gaskin the week before. Carlos Hyde, not Carlos Hyde. Sorry, I don't know why I just mentioned Carlos Hyde. Myles Gaskin, Tevin Coleman, all those guys looked good against the Patriots in the line. So I need to see the run defense toughen up a bit more. You're gonna face Kamara next week. We know what Kamara can do. Although Winston took his powers away last week, I'm expecting Kamara to have a bounce back game against the Patriots. So that line needs to shore up. I like what I'm seeing from Bentley. Bentley is looking like this is going to be his breakout year. We haven't seen Judon be as explosive as he was in the preseason, but that's going to come. Hightower's looking good. So secondary is obviously awesome. You need Gilmore. J.C. Jackson just has a nose for the ball. He's just gonna lead the league in interceptions again probably this year. But that run defense, man, concerning.
Yeah, especially after all the hype that you had built around him. No, I'm concerned about them too. But only 2 weeks through, we got anything else to talk about, or you want to give it up now and wait for the Saints coming up in week 3?
How do you see them faring against the Saints?
I,
We got two different Saints teams to look at from week 1 and week 2.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. After week 1, I would have been like, "Oh man, Jameis Winston looks good. That eye surgery might have helped." But after week 2, I was like, "Oh wait, it's Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston's gonna be Jameis Winston no matter what." So I think they looked bad. They looked real bad in week 2. They also looked real good in week 1. I don't want to give the fence riding. I think they're somewhere in between, because honestly, if I had to pick, I think they're closer to the side where they were yesterday, not what they were yesterday overall, but I think they're closer to the side. I don't think they're nearly as good as what they looked like. At least they made Green Bay look terrible, which we're going to see what Green Bay looks like tonight, Monday Night Football. We record this Monday, September 20th. But I'm going to pick the Patriots. I don't know the spread off the top of my head, but I'm going to pick the Patriots. Until they really let Mac air it out, I don't think it's going to be, a huge win, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Patriots win by 5.
Saints defense is decent. They're
good.
They're a good defensive team. Jameis, he fooled me week 1. I chased the points and went to go get him in fantasy. I'm a dummy.
How could you not?
I'm a dummy, and might pay the price for it. We'll see by the end of this week. But yeah, I mean, I don't think without Michael Thomas, Sean Payton's not really confident in Jameis slinging the football. Even when he threw 5 touchdowns, he didn't have many throwing attempts. I think that was the most touchdowns anyone's ever thrown with the least amount of yards. So, like you, I see them more being what we saw in the latter in week 2 than week 1. But defensively, they're going to give the Patriots some problems. And Kamara is still a monster and going to give Patriots some trouble. So I have the Patriots winning, but it's going to be tough.
My thing with Kamara is, one thing the Patriots have done in still even the post Tom Brady era, and what they've always done is they take your best weapon, whether it be on defense or offense, and they minimize their impact. We've seen it time and time again when JJ Watt was with the Texans, for example. JJ Watt was always silenced when it came to playing the Patriots.
Yep.
I think that's going to be the same case with Kamara this week. They're going to force Jameis Winston to throw the football, which after what we saw this week, that's not a scary thing if you're a Patriots defense. Let Jameis Winston throw the football. Let's get into it. Anything else? Or are we done?
I think we're good, man. I think we're good.
All right. Guys, we're going to talk to you next week following week 3, Patriots, Saints, Jameis Winston, Mac Jones. Massive, massive QB battle up ahead of us. We'll talk to you next week. The whole crew will be back. So we'll talk to you then, guys. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.